I'm going to show you how to start a clothing brand in 2026 from an actual person who has run and scaled multiple clothing brands. I run an agency of about 100 clothing brands. One of the brands we're working with is doing a little over $30 million a year. It's safe to say we know what it takes to start a clothing brand. We have hundreds, like I said, of clothing brands. If you want to apply and work with us one-on-one, you can do that down below. We have clients doing 50, 100, 250K a month. I'm going to show you guys how to start from absolute scratch and build an actual clothing brand inside of this video for completely free. The first step that you need to start an actual clothing brand, which by the way, clothing is the best industry to be in, is build a product. The best part about a clothing brand is no one else can sell the same product that you're selling because it's a clothing brand. Every single piece is unique. You don't have really that much competition because you're selling a one-of-one unique actual piece. So with that being said, you're gonna do some competitor analysis. I know I said you don't have competition, but you're gonna look at people who are selling similar pieces to what you're trying to sell, and you're gonna do some competitor analysis. And I'm gonna break down here. We'll go back to the desktop and I'll show you guys how to do that competitor analysis. But you're gonna go through IG, a site called Facebook Library, things, etc. And you want to go through what your competitors are actually selling, and you want to be picking out the pieces that you know for a fact are selling well. When you're able to build out a list of 10 or 12 pieces that you know for a fact are selling well, and there's something that you want to design, when you're actually going back and making your pieces, you can save those designs and go back, revisit those pieces and make your designs with some of the inspiration. A lot of people call this the Virgil 3% rule. He was famous for, only changing a little small thing about something that was already pre-existing and successful. So let's hop back here on the computer and I'll show you guys how to do some competitor analysis. So Instagram method, super simple. You type in clothing brand, and then you would probably type in the niche that you wanted to be in. So let's say you're selling dresses, or let's say you're selling Christian wear, or let's say you're selling, outdoor wear. You would type in that. So let's type in Christian, right? So say clothing brands Christian, and this is going to pull up a ton of things that you can see that are all inspiration and Christian style. And I would go through and you can look at things that are getting lots of likes, like this, for instance. A lot of likes, a lot of comments. You can see that it's probably selling well because you can see the comments, people saying, I want this, that's heat, I love that, right? And if you're selling a product that looks similar, you're not starting off from zero, reinventing the wheel. No, you're starting off with actually something that's been proven before and you're just making it yours, right? So I like this Ephesians thing right here. This is really nice. So I'm going to go to their website here. We can go through. You see they have a nice kind of selection. I really like this. These are really, really nice. So what I'm going to do, and they actually have the size chart and everything. So this is like super easy. What I'm going to do is take a screenshot of this. Boom. Let's say I like all three of these pieces right here. I'm going to take a screenshot of these and you can see people, I just paid, I know the price. People are wanting to buy this. So instead of starting again from scratch, I'm going to start off with this. Another way that you can do this is going through Facebook ads library. Now, if someone's running a meta ad, which means Instagram and Facebook, those ads will be here, which is like something a lot of people don't even know about the ads library. I'm going to show you guys. If someone's running an ad, doesn't matter what kind of ad, they can't hide it. You can find it and pull it on ads library. So you can basically spy on your competition, look at their ads, look at what they're using to actual sell. And it's all valuable information. Most businesses don't have that, where they can spy on their competitors, see the exact ads and see all these, proprietary things of how their competitors are running business. But with the ads library, you can. So same thing, we'll type in clothing brand, and this time let's type in dress, because maybe we want to do a dress, right? We want to do some like women's wear. You can see here, we see a bunch of other things that we can go into, and you can even watch like videos, like I said, watch their actual ads. You see her selling some sort of silk robe, I think, I don't know. But you can see here, very informative, really cool products that we can see here. And you can see, again, all the cool products, and just do a ton of research instead of starting out from absolute scratch. Like here, we have this one right here. We can click on, go straight to the website, look at their product page. It gives us a really good insight of just being able to do a lot of research on your actual thing before you start. So even though you probably want to, do not skip the competitor analysis. I'm a huge proponent of just getting data. If you ever work with me one-on-one, All my clients, that's all we do is just gather data. We never do things subjective or arbitrary. We don't make those kind of decisions. We make decisions based on data, which is why our clients are just doing better than others. But now we want to talk about designing products. Okay. For this, you use ChatGPT or another AI software like Midjourney. There's tons of them out there. You can just probably look it up on Google. And we want to start making these actual products instead of, so we can have, and we can actually see and visualize our product. If you're like me and you don't know how to draw that well, AI is the best thing that ever happened to me. I'm a terrible designer. So instead of me going out there with a pen and paper and hiring somebody to make it, I can have AI do it in 15 seconds for completely free, right? So let me show you an example of how this would work. So boom, I've already kind of made my own little prompt here. And you see, I just said, make me a streetwear Christian jacket, and it made me one. And this looks pretty high quality already. I mean, something like this would sell, and you're talking to someone who's, managed hundreds of active clothing brands that have done, well over probably 50 million in revenue this year alone. But what we want to do is I'm going to upload a picture here. All right. So I really like this one right here that we took a screenshot of when we did our competitor analysis. So imagine you went out there and you found 10 to 12 of those designs. I'm going to say the same thing, right? Make me a Christian streetwear, white background. I'll just copy the same prompt. The prompt's not going to matter. Obviously, with AI, you want to be as specific as possible. So you can use my prompt as a starter prompt, but I'm going to add to the bottom of this, make it similar to this image that I'm showing. I really like this product. I don't really overthink. I just say whatever is on my mind when it comes to making AI prompts and just try to be as specific as possible. Okay, you see ChatGPT didn't listen to me. It literally just copied the exact same thing that they did. So I'm gonna go in and say, hey, change it just a little bit so I can make it mine. All right, boom. So now you can see we have a piece that's pretty much ours. Now, obviously, this may look a little bit too identical, so I still may go in and afterwards may tweak it. I may use a select tool on ChatGPT and say, hey, I think having this logo here and using their logo makes it too similar. And maybe I want to change this whole black piece to green, right? And you want to just, again, get away from the piece just a little bit, but not too much, because this piece works. But now we have a piece right here. I don't know how to draw. I never picked a pencil. I do this 10 or 12 times. And now I have a product list of products that I know for a fact are selling. And again, I cannot stress this enough. You guys do not know how much AI is making our clients so much money as a clothing brand. There's not a better time if you're not taking advantage and using these two things that I've just talked about. It is so valuable. You can literally make products that can do 50, 100K in 15 seconds. Never been done before. Never in history. People had to draw these things from nothing, right? And have amazing creative artistic abilities. You don't even need that anymore. And if you have it, which you probably do starting a clothing brand, you're even further ahead. That brings us on to the website piece. Now we have 10 or 12 amazing products. We have the product side done. Now we're building out a website. Your clients have to buy from some sort of site. This is where we build out. I would recommend you guys using Shopify. Now you can go down below in the link in the description. You can see the Shopify affiliate link. We're partners with Shopify, so you should get a 3-month free trial where it's like $1 a month. And I mean, if you start off with $1 on your website hosting platform and you're using AI, you essentially started a brand new brand with $1 a month. Again, no better time than today to start a clothing brand, but go ahead, take advantage of that trial. It's why I use Shopify versus like Wix or, GoDaddy or any of these other platforms. In case you guys haven't noticed, Shopify has the easiest UI, honestly, the best UI. I've pretty much tried every single one. Shopify has all the apps that you need. There's brands that are doing billions of dollars a year on Shopify. They are they have the best conversion rates, so the best checkout rates in history. If you guys don't know what that is, that basically means their checkout is crafted, and they've put so much time and effort into making sure it's everything's perfect place that the customers just automatically trust it because it's just so well built, and people aren't abandoning cart as much as they would with like Wix or something because it doesn't look as professional. I would highly recommend Shopify if you aren't doing so. Okay. But now we're going to build a website based on objection handling. Now, what do I mean about objection handling? I don't want to lose you here, but let me describe what I mean by objection handling. When you're building any kind of website, whether it's supplements or fitness, no matter what you're building, you need to make sure that you're solving the problems that a customer has when they land on a website, okay? Now for clothing, there's only 3 objections. If they like the shirt, they like the shirt, but there's 3 objections that may stop them from buying: abandoning cart, clicking on the website, and then never checking out, right? If you ever have a lot of website visitors and no one seems to be checking out, it's because you're not objection handling properly. Those 3 things in clothing is the description, shipping, and returns. What I mean by description, super simple. It's like the features, what it's made out of, where it's made, things like that. Those are the only 3 reasons someone would not buy. So when you're building out your website, make sure you're including these 3 things. Let me go into my laptop and I'll explain what I mean here. So we see a brand right here that's doing really great. This is a pretty established brand and I don't have any affiliates with them, but you see amazing piece, and we're on their product page right now, and you can take a look at how we solved, or how they solved, those 3 objections, the only objections you have with clothing. First, they have the description. The description's super simple. These are for those people who are, the sticklers. Maybe they're allergic to a certain fabric. Maybe they like wearing certain fabrics. Maybe they want to know the sizing. Maybe they want to know the material, small things like that. So just keep like little box bullet points. Just describe the benefits of your piece, what it's made out of, how it fits, things like that. Okay. Then we go into shipping and returns. These are the last 2. They combined these into one collapsible row. Okay. Again, this just talks about how soon the product's going to get to the customer when they actually purchase. Okay. And then if they don't like it, how do they send it back to you? Here's a good thing. If you don't have return rates, which you probably should just give your customers a 14 or a 30-day return, let them know that rather than excluding that. Customers would rather know you don't, rather than you don't say anything and they have to have this gray area. Really, again, we want to make sure we're solving objections and getting rid of any little small thing that may stop a customer from actually spending money with us and buying our products. So again, I structure my website super similar. You see their homepage is super simple. Their product page is super simple. There's nothing on it. All they have is just these 3 drop downs. And you can easily make these in Shopify. Shopify even has an AI where you can literally type it in and it'll make these collapsible rows for you. And again, about 10, 15 minutes, right? You can build a brand new clothing brand and be ready to launch and run ads for $1 and probably less than about a couple hours the same day, honestly. Now for the homepage, because that's your product page, for the homepage, again, super simple. You don't have to have a lot, just have one on brand image if you have it. If you don't, have AI make it. I would go in, do competitor analysis, see what, a homepages that other brands are doing. Pretty much every clothing brand follows this strategy that I'm telling you guys. How do I know? Because I do it, right? Have the home branded page and then just follow up with your collections. And that's it. Just literally list your products and don't have anything else on your homepage. It should just be an image. And then right below it, the customer should be able to see all your products. When they click on our product page, again, should just be overly simple like we discussed. Just those 3 drop downs and nothing else. Don't have fancy shipping bars and buy in 5 minutes for 15% off. All these things, because it makes your website look scammy. Okay. Less is more. Trust me, solve your objections. You'll have the highest conversion rate and actually get people to buy your products. Now, this brings us on to the last piece that glues it all together. Okay. By the way, if you want more details on how to actually build out a full website, you want me to go into full detail, I do have a YouTube video on my channel that has me actually going out and building a website so you guys can get like those small little granular details in case I blew past it too fast. Same thing with the marketing. I have a full actual in-depth training of me breaking down and launching campaigns, which I'll do on this video here. But we want to make sure when we're launching our marketing, we're getting people to our actual website and trying to get them to buy, we want to launch with one strategy. Okay, I call it the top to bottom conversion strategy. Okay, and it's super simple. Top to bottom basically means the top of the funnel all the way down to the bottom. Now, the top of the funnel, simple. That's all your cold traffic. The top of the people who have never seen your product, they're cold. They don't even know who you are. They don't know you exist. Okay, we want to target these kind of people with traffic ads. Okay, so we're going to run a very low budget and just try to show our products to a bunch of people, 10, 20, 30,000 people. Okay, the good thing about this is we're going to be able to easily see who's clicking on those products, and then afterwards, which is where the bottom part comes in, we'll be able to retarget the people who clicked on the site and be able to get them to actually convert. Okay, the reason why we do it this way, traffic ads, very simply are super, super cheap. I can spend $1 and get 5,000 people to see my product. If I spend the same dollar on a sales ad, or if I just go straight to the bottom strategy, right? I can spend that same dollar and maybe I get 10 people. So I want to show it to as many people as possible, then retarget those people with the sales ad and only show it to those people. Let me show you what I mean. So boom, as we pop into one of our clients' ad strategies, she's just starting off and she's a brand new client that we have. You can kind of see the structure of how we would run ads for a brand new account that really doesn't have that much traction. So you see here, we have a traffic ad, and when we click onto it, I'll go to edit here. You guys can see exactly how we set this up, okay? Very low budget, spend at $10 a day, potentially $5 if you're on a real budget. And then for the ad set, again, super simple. If you want me to go into more detail as well, go to my YouTube and find the full video where I show you actually setting up these campaigns. But I'll go through a quick overview. Make sure we're showing it to US because that's where she's showing. And then on the placements, we exclude a couple of placements here. And then you guys can see we pretty much just left everything else alone, and we have Advantage Plus placements here. So for the actual ad, she's just running a video, and you can either run a video or just run your actual collection page. All right. The actual ad creative doesn't matter as much as the actual strategy part. She's running basically an intro video showing her brand off. Now the intro for you could just be, those white background images that you have from ChatGPT and just have your full collection. So someone who doesn't know your brand could scroll through all your products, right? She connected her Facebook page, Instagram page, and then she's just running this intro video. Okay, super simple setup, nothing crazy. As you guys can see, this ad is pulling in a lot of people. She's only spent $20 so far, and she's got almost 2,000 unique people. This isn't impressions. If this was impressions, this would probably be around 4,000 people in total who saw it, but 1,500 unique people for $20 saw her product and got introed to her brand. Right? And then we can see 160 of those people went in to click through. We want to go in with the bottom conversion part of the strategy and retarget the 160 people who click through. So that's where you go with a campaign strategy that looks something similar to this. Pretty much the exact same strategy here for your daily budget. You're probably going to run this to about $30. I don't know why this says 10, but probably want to run this to about $30. Everything else is relatively the same. Right now, for the custom audience, we're going to make sure we put in all those people who engaged properly with our website. All right. So we're going to make sure we put in website visitors, people who, clicked on the catalog, people who, added to cart, all these things. And if you don't know how to make an actual custom audience, I'll quickly run you through. All you do, click on that edit icon. You can go to create new custom audience, click on your website. Right, then you want to select your pixel. So I'll select a pixel, and then from here, this is where you can click in and see all those people to retarget. So all we'll do is go all website visitors for the last 180 days, name it something proper, and then create audience, and then it's going to bring in, and it'll be done just like that. Right, so now Facebook knows, hey, we're only going to show this product to people who actually were engaging on that cold traffic. You guys can see how this works so well and why it works so well. Now for the creative, everything else is pretty much the same. You want to make sure you're showing a product focused creative. So people who saw the product before, they see it again, now they're incentivized to buy. It takes people a couple of times to see your product before they actually purchase, right? I know you guys have added something in the cart, may have not bought it again, came back 3 days later after you saw another ad and bought it again. That's the exact same thing we're trying to elicit from our customers. All right, same thing, connected to Facebook page, and everything else here is the exact same. Now, again, if you want a full in detail, like going through setting this up step by step, check out the YouTube channel where I broke that down. But that's in a nutshell how I would start a clothing brand in 2026. It's crazy. You can literally do everything I just talked about today. Like literally right now, it won't cost you anything more than like a couple of bucks, right? You can get started on a clothing brand right now for like 20 bucks today, and you're way miles ahead of people who are probably doing their clothing brand wrong today. But people who were, starting a clothing brand 10, 20 years ago, you had to spend thousands of dollars. It has never been easier and more profitable to start a clothing brand than it has been today. So take this information and use it. If you want more in detail videos, you can check out my YouTube video. Or if you just want to work with me personally one-on-one in my team, you can apply for that down below, link in the description to work with us personally and have you help you scale out to 10, 20K months with your clothing brand. That's all I got for you guys in this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.